What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the corner. I've got an absolutely wild story for you today. I think that sometimes the conversation around, the woke people are the ones who have like a real problem with certain individuals. Well, this story couldn't better encapsulate that, as well as an end cap story about a woman who tried to be a man for a year and then decided to end it all via assisted leaving the planet. So this is a wild story. Strap on in. Hope you're ready for some head slapping, eye rolling nonsense. If you are, make sure you leave a like on the video. It helps immensely. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below. It's hard to find you all out there sometimes. White writer eviscerated for disguising himself as black to write about racism. This headline in and of itself, I could spend almost the entire video talking about. I won't do that. By the way, I'll talk about this more live at 5:30 Eastern today over on Quartercast or over on the Mean Green site, so I hope to see you there. This really encapsulates the modern woke left, the group of people that desperately want to be victims. And so they use their purse puppies, which are minorities and, other, people of color, this to try and pretend they borrow their victimhood because they really, really want to be oppressed, even though they're just not. So this is a journalist is currently getting excoriated on X after announcing that his forthcoming book, Seven Shoulders, is about the experience of disguising himself as a black man and traveling through the United States. First of all, Canada, you got your own problems up there. Don't be coming down here to the United States, sending your lame soy-infused journalist to try and make the United States look bad. You've got quite the Pajit invasion yourself. Maybe you should look into that. Anyway, the author Sam Forrester is white, of course, and now is being met with a wrath of multiple corners of the internet who have deemed the project ridiculous and offensive. Reactions to the announcement ranged from the facetious to the disgusted as the post revealing the book's premise went viral, as it has now been viewed some 11 million times. In it, Forrester wrote, "Last summer, I disguised myself as a black man." I really want to know how he disguised himself as a black man. Did he literally do blackface? Like, did he literally do blackface and pretend like it was, some sort of journalistic integrity thing? I have to know. I need to know more. So he traveled throughout the United States to document how racism persists in American society. It doesn't. It's created in general. It's not a thing that most black folks deal with in real life very often. Sure, it exists in, it is out there, but it also goes both directions. Writing Seven Shoulders was one of the hardest things I'd ever have to do as a journalist, he said, before linking to selling his book on Amazon. This is, oh my God, please tell me this is still alive on the internet. I need this to still be alive. Because, quite frankly, we need this joke. Okay, it is still here. Here we go. Unbelievable. The tweet is still up. "Last summer, I disguised myself." It looks pretty white to me. This is a fetish for him, probably. Like, he's getting off on this when people, did a racism or they crossed the street or something. Like, he's getting off on this. "Last summer, I disguised myself as a black man and traveled throughout the United States to document how racism persists in American society. Writing Seven Shoulders was one of the hardest things I'd ever have to do as a journalist." You are not a journalist. You are like literally making it up. Whatever this is, you made it up. You see, the paperback version will be available Thursday. Let's take a look at some of the replies. "Guess if you videoed everything with a hidden camera, it would be much harder to make this stuff up. We don't believe you unless post pics. What in the black like me is happening here? It's hard to simultaneously draw the ire of black people, white people, conservative, and liberals but I think you've just done it. I want to see the photos. Everyone wants to see the photos. Everyone wants to see what exactly he did to disguise himself. Butter Queen writes, there's no way that you believe that you could experience a full spectrum of racism without having been conditioned by the systemic nature of it. 3.1 thousand likes. The hilarious feedback continues. You had to do blackface to understand the issues black people face? You could have spoken with black Americans. I have serious questions as to why and how you disguised yourself as a black American to write this book. I mean, everybody in here is seriously wondering, like, what's interesting is this guy does not have any black features whatsoever either. So, I mean, he looks super white. Even if he, I mean, I don't know what in the heck he was thinking. People are saying, oh, very grateful. Thanks for the support. It's on sale for $9, by the way. It's the #1 bestseller. Doing blackface to figure out the issues of black people who are apparently extinct and impossible to interview. It's already forgotten on Amazon. It's already out of the list. I mean, what an insane thing to think that this was a good idea. This is a lie. Are you serious? I mean, what is I mean, I can't even, is this real? And then he writes for the National Post and the Spectator. So, I mean, I would assume. The Amazon blurb reads, 6 decades after the passage of the Civil Rights Act, award-winning journalist Sam Forster performs a daring transformation in order to taxonomize the various types of racism that persist in modern America. Man, again, worry about Canada, homie. Seven Shoulders is the most important book on American race relations that has ever been written. This has to be a meme. Like, this has to be a meme. I'm giving it at least a 10% chance that this is a meme. Forster did not release pictures of him in blackface for his new book because he says it's offensive to view, and he's opposing, and that he's opposed to showing white folks in blackface. However, he believes as long as you truly try to pass yourself off as black, it's permissible. He says, I've decided against releasing the images of myself. Like, are you joking? I can't even believe this is a thing. I like legitimately am flabbergasted, and that very rarely happens. I don't understand. He literally did blackface. Of course, bringing up the Black Like Me book. Unfortunately, the photo seems like the one thing we may not be getting from Mr. Forrester. The Tom Gill, a society professor, posted on X that Forrester decided not to release the pictures of him in blackface for his new book because he says it's offensive to show, and that he opposed. Do you think maybe people were making fun of you because you looked like ridiculous? I'm pretty sure people could tell you're wearing all sorts of makeup. I'm pretty sure I could 10 times out of 10 pick out the white guy who's got makeup on his face versus actual black people. Like, that's a new form of racism too. Like, these white people are so stupid they won't tell the difference between a very Anglo-looking guy who's wearing a bunch of cover-up and an actual black person. This generation has nothing new to offer. They just recycle ideas that came before them and claim to be changing the world somehow. Hilarious and sad at the same time. I mean, I don't disagree. By the way, remember this individual? Remember Nora Vincent? I bet you didn't know this update. So Nora Vincent, who chronicled trying to pass as a man, back in 2006, decided that life was too hard and ended their own life. I don't even know. Like, in the winter of 2003, Nora Vincent, a 35-year-old journalist, began practice passing as a man. With the help of a makeup artist, she learned to simulate stubble by snipping bits of wool and painting them on her chin. She wore her hair already short, cut in a flat top, bought a rectangular frame glasses, all this kind of stuff, trained for a month with a vocal coach at Juilliard. And ultimately, her final takeaway about men was that it was extremely difficult. She was a libertarian. She tilted at postmodernism and multiculturalism. She argued for rights of fetuses and against identity politics. what she saw infantilizing and irresponsible. She did not believe that trans individuals were members of the opposite sex and that they had surgery to take it. So, I mean, she's all over the place, based, unbased. As she wrote this book, by the way, she decided to sign up for Canada's MAID program, which is is the program that you can sign up for and have them put you in a booth and press a button and send you off to your maker. Interesting story. I want to know more about this individual in blackface. I want to know a lot more about it. I want to see a picture. I hope it's a meme because it is, I can't even believe that this is a true story. I can't. I can't. Now, Nora Vincent, a lesbian feminist writer, once disguised herself as a man for 18 months to write a book on gender. After experiment, she was institutionalized for depression and stated that she never felt so glad to be a woman. Shout out. Ripperonis. This individual also totally insane. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.